Hello everyone, I'm Bruffy1322 and this video is going to show the fastest fully upgraded military vehicles in terms of lap time. We're quickly going to go over the slowest vehicles right now, and as always the position counter is in the top left with the best lap time the vehicle achieved in the top right. This video only focuses on track performance, so if you're interested in top speed where braking, cornering and acceleration aren't relevant, check the link in the description for the top speed testing series. And if you want to know more information about this testing, including the extent to which it's accurate and how useful it is for you personally, have a read of the full description as everything that you need is in there. This video lists all vehicles and is correct as of the after hours update. For vehicles added after that or other classes of cars, check the playlist linked in the second line of the description, and feel free to check out my Patreon or become a YouTube member if you want to get these testing results a few days before the videos go up every Thursday. So obviously we saw in the bottom two spots were the two tanks, which is, to be expected, but the Rhino tank is a little bit slower than the newer Kanjali, not by much, they're both over 2-minute laps, but there are a few seconds between them. And then we've got the Chernobog in 9th place here, that is the first vehicle to get under 2 minutes, and obviously these big bulky military vehicles, they're not going to get very good lap times until we see some of the vehicles towards the end of the video. So the half track here again with a 1 minute 52.6, they're very slow when you compare them to the kind of lap times that most vehicles in the game get. These big bulky military weaponized vehicles, they're not getting very good lap times at all, and to be close to the 2-minute mark is very slow indeed. So we've got a mix of sort of new vehicles and old vehicles in this class. The military vehicles class used to be the smallest with only 4 vehicles when the game was first released, but it has been added to in recent updates, like what we saw with the Kanjali, the half track. We've got the APC as well, and the Chernobog, things like that. So the military vehicles, with GTA becoming more militaristic, the military vehicles class has gotten an increase, but there are a lot of sort of military style weaponized vehicles that aren't necessarily in the military vehicles class. Just a bit of a note here about the thruster in 6th place. It's pretty quick when in terms of straight line speed, as we'll see from the top speed testing video next week, but it's difficult to get it around the corners, and that's why it gets the lap time that it does of a 1 minute 42, because it's not exactly the most maneuverable thing in the world. And then we've got the Barracks Semi here in 5th place, just making it into that top 5 with a 1 minute 39. So yeah, there's quite a lot of sort of weaponized military style vehicles that aren't necessarily in the military vehicles class, and a lot of them are in the off-roads class. So the class system these days with GTA doesn't really make all that much sense, but as always with these videos, I do put everything together solely based on the class that they're in. So these 11 vehicles are the only 11 vehicles that are in the military vehicles class, but there are other military style and weaponized vehicles that are in, say, the off-roads class or other classes just in general, but these are the only ones that are in the military vehicles class specifically. So in 4th place, the APC with a 1 minute 30.3. Again, not a quick lap time, but it does pretty well to get up into 4th place. And then coming into the top 3, we see the closest thing we've got to a normal vehicle in the military vehicles class with the Crusader. So this always used to be the number 1 military vehicle, the quickest vehicle in the military vehicles class at least, because it's basically just a normal vehicle. It's slow, it doesn't get upgrades, but a 1 minute 26 is more towards a normal vehicle lap time, and it's the only vehicle in the military vehicles class that isn't weaponized. It's amazing to think that there is a vehicle in the military vehicles class that doesn't have weapons on it, but the Crusader is that one. But yeah, I mean, okay, I did forget about the barracks vehicles, of course, but this is kind of the closest that you have to a normal vehicle. The same can't be said for the 2nd place vehicle of the anti-aircraft trailer. So this is being pulled along by a Saddler, which is the vehicle that you get with the anti-aircraft trailer when you call it in or you drive it out or whatever you want to do with it. And it's only 1 second quicker than the Crusader, but that second means that it is into 2nd place overall. The anti-aircraft trailer itself is in the military vehicles class. The Saddler that's pulling it is obviously in the utility vehicles class, but we got to pull it with something. So anti-aircraft trailer, a 1 minute 25, ends up not being too bad for the class at least. But in 1st place we do have, of course, the Barrage. At this point, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already for new testing videos every Thursday and update videos when new cars are released, and check out the other classes in the playlist. We'll also have the top speed video for these cars next Thursday, but the Barrage gets a lap time of 1 minute 16.068, which is almost 10 seconds per lap quicker than second place with the anti-aircraft trailer. It's more than 10 seconds per lap quicker than the previous best, which used to be the Crusader in the military vehicles class. And it's not really a surprise, to be honest, that the Barrage it's kind of more of a middle of the road off-road vehicle. If you go and watch the off-road vehicles video, there's quite a lot of vehicles around that 1 minute 15, 1 minute 16, 1 minute 17 mark, and they're all very similar in style to what the Barrage is like. The only reason that it's kind of different is because it's got weapons on it, and that's why it's being put in the military vehicles class. But then there's plenty of other weaponized vehicles that are very similar to the Barrage that are in the off-road vehicles class. So it kind of it's a crapshoot, to be honest. Where a car is going to be, what class a car is going to be in, it doesn't really mean an awful lot these days. Certainly not as much as what it did back in the early days. And the class system is a complete mess. But ultimately, the Barrage is the number one vehicle in the military vehicles class. There's only 11 of them, so it's not as if it's a very big class. But considering it only had 4 vehicles when the game was first released, it has certainly had a lot more love in terms of DLC vehicles added to it than, say, the Coupes class, which has had 2, and one of them is just a drop-down variation of the other. So, the military vehicles class, it's a bit of a shame that it doesn't encompass all the military vehicles, all the weaponized vehicles. We've had a new breed of all these different vehicles that have all been kind of just shoved into the off-road class. Even things like the Scramjet, the Vigilante, these vehicles, say in the supercars class or the sports class or sports classics, that are just normal vehicles but they have weapons on them. The weaponized versions really could just be all placed in the military vehicles class and then maybe give us a non-weaponized version in the normal class. But that's not how it is. So we've got a huge off-roads class, which half of them, you can't race them. They've got weapons on them. They're not really what you would consider normal off-road vehicles. And then we've got a smaller military vehicles class that misses out a lot of vehicles that people might consider to be, weaponized military style. So if there's vehicles that you have seen that are missing here, and you're thinking, well, where is that vehicle? Chances are it's going to be in the off-roads class. So feel free to check the playlist for the off-road vehicles video. Like I said, we've got the top speed testing for all these vehicles coming next week. First time we've ever done top speed for the military vehicles class on this channel. And that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to read the description for more info, comment with your thoughts, like the video if you enjoyed or found it helpful, subscribe for more, and consider supporting on Patreon or becoming a YouTube member. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.